So after the release of the new Dune trailer, and with the film's marketing finally starting, there's still one question on everyone's mind. Will Denis Villeneuve's film be a success at the box office, and will we get a Dune sequel? In this video, I'm going to be discussing all the angles surrounding this very question and weighing in on how well the film could do when it comes out this October. Before I get into it though, if you want to see much more videos on Dune leading up to its release date, then don't forget to support this video by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's discuss whether Dune can really be successful. So at the height of the pandemic, one theory that began to circulate is that audience demand would enable more doubtful box office bets to overperform in the aftermath. Though the US isn't fully clear, most of North American movie theatres are now open, and the back half of 2021 has an overflow of major titles. Unfortunately, the booming theatrical recovery many foresaw has yet to materialise, and even prior to the pandemic, Dune was a high-risk prospect at the box office. It's an $160 million sci-fi epic based on a dense 1965 novel with one failed cinematic adaptation already in its history. But hailing from acclaimed director Denis Villeneuve and featuring a remarkably talented ensemble cast headlined by Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, it remains to be seen if the ambitious film, which is meant to be the first in a two-part series that will also include a HBO Max spin-off show, has captured the attention of general audiences. So what factors need to go exactly right for Dune to reach its best case scenario? Well, the main hurdle for Dune is that despite reputation, the science fiction genre is not a consistent blockbuster draw for casual moviegoers today. The film's artistic pedigree and talent involved is great, but Villeneuve is also responsible for the critically lauded Blade Runner 2049, which flopped with just $260 million on a budget of similar numbers. And to be clear, Blade Runner 2049 is one of my favourite films of the last 10 years, so like everyone who enjoyed that film, I really wanted it to do well. But it's difficult to escape that comparison with another high-concept film on the horizon. You can barely count on one hand the number of successful sci-fi franchises in Hollywood, and while Denis and the cast are absolutely amazing at what they do and will no doubt deliver on quality, it will be an uphill battle to convince families to see Dune. And that's where most sci-fi films fail. When you're dealing with a massive budget, any film, regardless of genre, needs demographic multipliers to achieve success, and sci-fi is traditionally a very narrow audience, especially hardcore sci-fi like Dune. Another issue facing the film is the long-term scheme of its release and the list of high-profile features it must contend with on the schedule. Originally slated in the beta window of December 2020, Dune's delay and move to October 22nd has forced it into a more crowded marketplace that includes No Time to Die, Halloween Kills, Jackass Forever, Last Night in Soho, and Marvel's Eternals. Now, while Dune will probably do better than half of the films on this list, a few big names like No Time to Die and Eternals will take a chunk from its overall run, especially in the climate we are in with the pandemic. As much as I hate to say it, to be a hit, Dune will have to appeal to the same audience that makes up the Star Wars and Star Trek fanbase, and that's an extremely difficult problem to crack. Denis Villeneuve's film needs a grand worldwide release with very little competition, and it's hard to see that happening as many of us wanted. But while most of these are problems that Dune would always face, further complicating its quest for commercial success is its simultaneous release on HBO Max for 31 days alongside its theatrical release. It's generally agreed upon that the day and date streaming component has affected Black Widow's ticket sales, though the Marvel blockbuster is still the fastest film to surpass $150 million domestic in the pandemic, and stands at $315 million worldwide at this particular moment. Still, the sentiment is that its ability to generate long-term playability has been offset with its Disney Plus availability. So will that be the case for Dune? I personally think it could go either way. For example, if you're a fan whose excitement level for the film is already high, you're probably going to ignore the small screen component on HBO Max, at least for the first viewing. If you love it, you'll watch it again on HBO Max. We saw that day and date availability didn't hurt Godzilla vs. Kong, but at the same time it may have hurt Mortal Kombat's theatrical hopes a bit. Dune is looking at a more complicated situation and likely needs to surpass an opening weekend benchmark of success to have a shot at earning at or near its mark. Buzz surrounding conversations and the box office all have to be better than expected to be considered a success, but anything over $50 million in its opening weekend is still a good number in this environment. I know that we shouldn't only judge the film on its opening weekend as it may have legs, but it's crucial to note the importance of the movie's performance in regards to the studio's ability to leverage the IP moving forward. We've seen many promising franchises fail to get off the launch pad in recent years, and Dune being billed by WB as a Part 1, and Dune the Sisterhood moving forward on HBO Max, the film's success or failure has ripple effects throughout the studio. The first movie sets the tone and the ability to draw financial resources to launch further content. There's no secret, Dune has an uphill battle as a commercial franchise starter, but there are a handful of specific ways that Warner Brothers can help usher the movie into profitability and beyond. For me, they need to focus on multiple things to sell this to the general audience. They need to emphasize the great reviews, use more of the ensemble cast, how the film is being led by a marquee director, that the project has a high concept pitch, but that it also has escapist fun with the marketing. Up until more recently, the marketing said, "This is Dune and you should come and see this incredible world that you've never seen before." But audiences don't care as much about that as they did a decade ago. However, the film's second trailer did do a better job at conveying the core story, which will see Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides unknowingly represent an oppressive force, fall in love, and potentially switch sides. I honestly believe that Warner Brothers should focus even more into this aspect and begin promoting Zendaya's Cheney as a co-protagonist to Chalamet's. Say what you will about misleading marketing, but if the movie is fantastic, as we expect it to be, audiences don't mind getting tricked. I think a potential final trailer, either timed to the movie's debut at the Venice Film Festival with glowing reviews, or attached to No Time to Die, should push the idea that Dune will be a blast at the movies. The first trailer went to great lengths to highlight the movie's talented cast, and that should continue to be a focus moving forward, as audiences may not show up for one actor they like, but might buy a ticket if there's many actors they like. The odds are obviously against Dune, but if there's any studio that's able to pull it off, it's Warner Brothers, which has a long history of selling unconventional big films into genuine events. What they have done with HBO Max is not going to help that prospect though, and Warner have made some bad decisions over the years with marketing and creative control. It doesn't look like that's the case with Dune, and the execs have been changing at the studio, so hopefully this is a sign of the right things being put in place. To make things clear, if Dune earns around $400 million plus worldwide, while garnering strong critical reviews and positive word of mouth from general audiences, it can still be considered a success, even without tripling the production budget at the box office, as most studios like to do with big budget tentpoles. I'm sure many people, including myself to some degree, want this film to make 700 million plus worldwide, and while the quality of the film may deserve that, it's very unlikely in the climate of things. I personally think that Dune has the potential to make $400 to $500 million to warrant more entries in this franchise, and that the overall buzz and again quality will lead to members of the general audience wanting to find out what that is. Think of how Avatar intrigued people, but just on a much lower scale because of the pandemic and current distribution. I hope something like this does happen, and maybe it will even surprise us and make more. But they were my thoughts on the potential success of Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Overall, I do think it's great that we are finally seeing the marketing kick off in a big way for the new adaptation of Frank Herbert's world, and hopefully we'll all be able to see it on the big screen later this year. But with all of these points made, can it really do well enough to warrant a sequel? I'm really hoping so, but I guess we will soon find out. Let me know down below in the comment section how well you personally think Dune will do at the box office, alongside your own thoughts on all the points I have raised. For more videos surrounding Dune leading up to its release this year, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. I will be continuing to cover news and topics for Dune whenever new information comes out, alongside episodes of my Road to Dune series very soon, so look out for all of these uploads. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.